What's up guys, Readiness Reviews here with you again, and we are doing another military surplus firearm unboxing today. I have two boxes coming in from Royal Tiger Imports. I told you guys there was a decent chance that I would be making an order from them over Black Friday and Cyber Monday if they had a substantial sale. They did end up having a decent sale as I expected, and this is the haul from that sale. Two military surplus rifles. Before we take these boxes over to the desk to open them up, I want to remind you guys to give this video a thumbs up to help it out with that YouTube algorithm, and to subscribe to the channel to catch all of my future military surplus firearm videos. Let me know down in the comments if you made any Black Friday Milsurp purchases. Now let's get these rifle boxes opened. Both of these boxes have seen better days. This one is all out of square and bulged out. It's pretty soft from where it's seen some action. We'll be doing this opening today with a Milsurp bayonet. As always, if you know what the bayonet is, let it be known down in the comments. Looks like we got a load of packing peanuts in the end here, and a little internal sleeve box. Packing peanuts are pretty much everywhere. But here is our rifle. Decent amount of bubble wrap. And there we are, a M95 Mannlicher carbine chambered in 8x50. Almost all of the Mannlicher carbines that you'll run into on the collector market these days underwent rechambering prior to the Second World War, changing them over from that original 8x50 cartridge to a more modern and potent 8x56R cartridge that utilized Spitzer projectiles. Royal Tiger Imports is one of the only games in town offering original unmodified M95 carbines still in that 8x50R chambering, and over Black Friday weekend, they were running these rifles for a pretty outstanding $200 price point. I think their everyday asking price is more like $350 over there at RTI. So these had a pretty decent discount. On first glance here at the external cosmetic condition, the wrist and buttstock look to be in pretty good shape. There's some signs here of a little bit of age cracking near where the butt plate is, but cracks like that are rarely an issue. We have our sling loops both bottom and side. The blued metal finish is pretty much all worn off. That's to be expected of these rifles coming out of Ethiopia. This one is a Budapest manufactured rifle. That's kind of interesting. And I believe our date of manufacture on this one is going to be 1915. At the very least, that would be the date of the barrel. Now, as we get up towards the front end of the rifle here, this is where we start running into a couple issues that I'm seeing. The fitment of the top handguard is not exactly right. It's almost as if it's oversized. It might actually be an incorrect handguard for this particular rifle. Weird little rubber band there. It looks to me like someone has kind of force placed a handguard that would have originally gone to another rifle. You can kind of tell up here underneath the barrel band how that wood seems to sort of be whittled down a little bit. The fitment around the barrel band just is not right. The wood's sticking up really far. The wood is wider all the way down the side profile. The look of the wood is noticeably different. This is a different type of wood than what the bottom is. At the very least, it's from a different tree. In the middle barrel band here, the sizing is also odd. It's kind of interesting that the fitment around the rear sight looks to be pretty decent. On first inspection here, I can't really identify exactly what kind of rifle this handguard would have gone on, but I really don't think it's original to an M95 carbine. If you do know what kind of handguard this is, let me know down in the comments. Could be a refitted Mauser handguard. It could possibly be from an M95 long rifle. I would say that would be a pretty good guess, but an interesting development nonetheless. Now this rifle does have the correct short carbine sight. This was made in the days before they started cutting down long rifles into carbines. See how rough the action is here? That actually didn't feel too bad. I didn't have to put all that much pressure. Fairly smooth. And it actually does not look all that dirty either. The magazine spring seems to have good tension there. All the bolt parts appear to be intact as far as the extractor and everything goes. Same thing with the safety. Looks like it's all there. Let's drop the hammer. That was a nice solid hammer drop. Sling loops in the front barrel band are all there. Front nose cap has the bayonet lug and the little stacking rod. The muzzle condition's looking a little bit questionable, seems a little bit loose. And there's our import mark, IO Incorporated, and they have it stamped Steyr Austria, even though this is a Budapest example of the M95. I took a glance at the board just now, and luckily it still has visible rifling. However, the rifling that it does have appears to be quite pitted and corroded and extremely dark. Curiosity is getting the better of me, and I need to see what is under this handguard. So we're going to take these barrel bands off right quick. The screw heads on this particular rifle are not in bad shape at all. They all look pretty decent. Since they kind of crammed these barrel bands over wood that it doesn't exactly fit, they are on there extremely tight. So we're going to use a little bit of mallet action to try to loosen them up. We got this front one almost knocked off. There it is. Now for our middle band. And that one's loose. So those barrel bands really do look to be in great shape. This handguard though is a completely different story. This thing is chewed up and mangled. Look at it. Look how the wood is a completely different color here on the inside. It seems so much more fresh than the rest of it does, almost like it was just done here recently. That really makes me wonder whether that was something that RTI did with the rifle here in the US, just kind of like force put it together, or whether that was something that was done over in Ethiopia. The inside of this handguard is so roughly fit. The way that it's weathered on the outside looks like it's from a real military surplus rifle, but looking at the inside, it's almost like someone just whittled this thing out by hand. And that may essentially be what happened. They could have took, I don't know, a Mauser handguard or something like that and just kind of chipped away at it until it was the right size to fit this rifle. It is really beat up and cracked. This wood is super thin and fragile. Can't say I've ever seen anything like that before, but that does give us a good look at the barrel here. It's decently dirty. Got a little bit of mold. That's not uncommon for these Royal Tiger Imports rifles. They were stored in very bad conditions for a long time. There is a little bit of rust pitting here, but doesn't look like anything too bad. All in all, for $200, I'm pretty darn happy with this rifle. I think a lot of people would be very annoyed at this handguard, but I actually think that's kind of cool. It certainly makes my example a one of a kind and adds a little bit more individual history to the rifle. I just wish I knew what that history was. Getting an M95 in that original 8x50R cartridge unconverted is something I definitely wanted to knock off my checklist, and I have done that. If I can ever get a hold of some of that ammo, I would love to shoot this rifle, but I think we spent enough time on this carbine, so let's check that other box out. This other rifle is one I'm very excited about. I've been going back and forth with myself ever since RTI first opened up shop, and I finally decided to take the risk. More than anything, I'm just hoping this one turns out to be a shooter. And this rifle is a B grade, No.1 Mk.III Lee-Enfield. There it is on the tag right there. And I am as impressed as heck with the external condition of this thing. It looks pretty darn great. All the metal components are heavily worn. I know Royal Tiger Imports said that they've stopped the Ethiopians from wire wheeling the firearms before importation. The metal on this one does look like it has been wire wheeled to me though. Not something I'm super concerned about. The stock, although it has its fair share of dings and dents and a crack running through the handguard, looks to be in solid shooter condition. The little tine-like wings on the rear handguard have been cut off, it looks like. Let's open that action up. Now the inside looks pretty dang clean to me. My particular example here is a British-made B.S.A 1916. It appears to have walnut furniture, as far as I can tell. Magazine's intact with follower. All the safety components are included. It looks like all of our screws are included. Barrel bands, sling loops, butt plate, nose cap. We have what appears to be a complete rifle. Even the bore doesn't look too terrible. Now the rifling looks a little bit shallow and worn, but it's not heavily corroded and actually has a little bit of sheen to it. Give it a quick muzzle test with a .303 round here. And that looks like a pretty good little sliver of copper poking out to me. I think we're gonna have a decent little shooter on our hands here. Since these RTI B-grade No.1 Mk.III Lee-Enfields are pretty infamous by reputation, I do intend on doing a full deep dive video on this particular rifle to let you guys know what kind of firearm you can expect should you decide to throw your own money at one. RTI's regular price for these rifles tend to fluctuate between about $350 and $400. Most recently, I saw them for like $379.99. Of course, you're gonna pay about 30 bucks shipping with that. Over Black Friday weekend, they were running a really nice Enfield sale. Both the No.1s and the No.4 Enfields were marked down to $299.99 for B-grade rifles. And to be completely honest, on first inspection of this rifle for $300, I literally could not be happier with what I'm seeing. I think I'm gonna have a fully functional and decent shooting rifle from the way things are looking right now, but we will find out for sure in an upcoming video. In general, Royal Tiger Imports pricing is a little bit high for the quality of surplus they are offering, but when it comes down to it, they are about the only source out there right now with a substantial supply of product of certain military firearms. Buying from them is always a risk. You never know what you're going to get. That M95 carbine, for instance, such an oddball with that weird handguard. But when RTI runs sales, you can pick up some firearms that at the very least are worth what they're asking. I want to say a big thank you to you guys for checking the video out. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up to help it out with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel to catch all of my future Milsurp firearm videos, especially the video taking this B-grade Enfield out to the range. Drop me a comment letting me know what you guys thought about the video, and if you noticed anything specific about these rifles that I didn't cover here in the video, let me know down in the comments. You guys always see things that I do not. I will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.